Support for Radio Friends comes from La Brunerie Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact La Brunerie Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, August the 8th. I want to introduce you to a guest we've making his first appearance on Radio Friends. He's a professor with the University of Missouri. He teaches sociology. Chris Connor, good to have you here, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
You teach sociology with the university, and mainly what do you deal with?
So sociology is really the study of society and putting it in its proper historical and cultural context, right? And so I teach the sociology of sport, I teach criminology, and I teach drugs and society. But I've also taught a whole wide range of other courses that deal with different parts of our culture and our society.
Okay, well, let's start with just criminology. What do you deal there?
So I remember when I was an undergrad in criminology, the professor asked me, why am I taking this course? And I said, it's because I want to know why people do the things that they do. Right. And so in criminology, we kind of look at the different theories that explain why people commit crime, why people do deviant, quote unquote, deviant behaviors.
Why do people commit crimes?
Well, do we have 18 weeks we can spend together?
It's that involved. But just to kind of touch it, why does somebody choose a life of crime?
Well, often, and again, this is why some people don't like sociology, is we kind of demystify that question and say, hey, it's not that they necessarily chose that, but maybe some things were chosen for them that then resulted in them committing crime.
They didn't start out to be the bad guy and be into crime, but something in their life made it happen.
So, we don't like to think of ourselves as the villains of our story. We like to think of ourselves as heroes. Like, who goes to bed and says, yes, today I did something heinous, right? No. People try to justify their behavior and make themselves into their own heroes of their story, right? And so, they don't often commit crime because they want to, right? But usually it's because they have to, or maybe it's because of the heat of the moment.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about the internet and the social networks, because this has permeated everybody's life. Why does it have such an influence on us?
Yeah, so I've been tracking and writing about internet culture really since 2015. I started studying the role that social media was playing on LGBTQ culture and how it was eroding these traditional cultural institutions within queer culture. And now I'm doing some other work related to some of your listeners probably have heard of QAnon. So now I'm looking at how social media and the role it played in that conspiracy theory.
Okay, explain QAnon.
Yeah, so QAnon is for lack of a better term, a conspiracy movement that began in 2018 on an anonymous image board known as 4chan, and then it migrated to some other darker places on the internet. And basically, it's the belief that Democrats and other high-ranking public officials are engaged in nefarious acts, and they're acting as part of this global cabal that's controlling society. And so my work investigates why it is they believe that, how they got involved in it, and ultimately, how can we get people to kind of come back to the public square and have a conversation.
Would you call that brainwashing?
I would be careful about using the term brainwashing. There's a couple people I've followed for a really long time, and I've charted their kind of evolution of how they got kind of into conspiracy theories and then got led into QAnon. And it's really complex. One of the things that keeps popping up, and again, this reoccurs through my research within LGBTQ culture and also this stuff, they feel a sense of social isolation, right? They are primarily in more kind of rural areas where they have less contact with other people, and so they're looking for a way to connect with others. On top of that, they have this kind of distrust of the system that has harmed them. So if you look at Missouri, for example, one of the issues that has popped up over the last decade is what's known as the deaths of despair. And part of that is the opioid crisis. And so people have been really hurt by the system that they were led to believe should help them. And that's kind of what spurs this conspiratorial thinking.
How do you fight against that? How, if somebody is caught up in this, how do they come back to reality?
So the message that I'm trying to send out right now is you have to have a lot of empathy. Sociology is one of our tools that's not talked about a lot is the role empathy plays, right? And so as a sociologist, what I try to do is understand things from your point of view or someone else's point of view. And to do that, I have to have a really high amount of empathy for other people and come at things and try to understand what happened to them or what they believe. And that can be really hard.
Do you see people who have bought into this changing their minds?
So we are starting.
Or is that a pretty difficult thing to do?
Yeah, it is difficult. But we are starting to see people come out of this kind of slowly but surely as time goes on. There's hope. But, again, it relies on us not demonizing other people, not painting them in a negative light, but having real empathy, having real compassion for them.
And that could help also help narrow this great divide that we have in the country right now.
Oh, yeah.
We need to try to understand each other and not demonize each other.
Bingo.
All right, Chris, there's so much more that I could talk to you about, but we're almost out of time. You enjoy doing what you're doing, teaching sociology?
I love my job. I love my colleagues. I love the people I work with. I love the students. I couldn't imagine doing anything else but sociology.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure having you here, chatting with you today. I know we just touched the tip of the iceberg. You'll have to come back again.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, and continued success with what you're doing.
Thanks.
At university. We're out of time for today. If there's something that you would like to hear or see, I'd love to hear from you. Simply drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. And he said, we just need to try to understand each other and be nice to each other. Bye-bye.